Hello everyone. That was weird. I don't know what came out there. I was trying to say hello everyone and it kind of merged together. Yeah, hello. We are here in Silverstone for the second round of Season 3 of the ESRL Tier 1 Championship. I'm very much looking forward to this. After the hectic race that we had last week, and I'm joined once again by my good friend Sumo in the commentary box, which I'm very happy about. So hello there, Sumo.
Hello, good evening everybody, and we find ourselves in sunny Silverstone for what is sure to be an incredible race. I'm certain of it. We had a lot of drama, a few big crashes, some safety cars over in France, and we find ourselves across the channel now in Great Britain, the home of Formula One, and what a track this is.
Absolutely incredible circuit. Great fun to drive and great fun to watch as well. Always produces some good battles. I'm just going to post the stream in the chat. There we go. So we are here in Silverstone. Just a bit of an update from the stewards' results of the last race, Sumo. I don't know if you caught them, if you remember, NER Ayrton somehow came through and won the race. He did get hit with a penalty by the stewards, which dropped him to 3rd place. So that means that Avi actually managed to win the race. Followed by Donev, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, it was Avi followed by Donev, and Ayrton was down in 3rd place. So it's actually Avi who leads the championship today. So an interesting development there, but it's going to be fascinating to see if Ayrton can come back and win this one again.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean, the driver of the caliber of Ayrton, of course, could certainly get himself in the front. He's always the man being chased, I think, never really the chasee. But there's certainly some drivers out there who aren't afraid to take him on.
Absolutely. Hello there, Rick, in the chat as well. Spicy grid, indeed. We've got a few reserves to watch today. We've got Zuba in the Williams. He's back in ESRL. Good to see him on the circuit. We've also got Rils Taravillo in the Haas. Now, I know Rils from some other leagues. He is a very fast driver in with elite settings, and I think he could well be a sort of definitely top 5 challenger today. So keep an eye on that the Spaniard in the Haas car. Otherwise, it's all down to business. We've got NER Ayrton, Donev. We've got all the heavy hitters today. Avi is here too. So good to see that we don't have any major absences today, as F1 Vetsku, who had a decent debut last week, will be the first to set a lap as long as he doesn't invalidate.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. This is our reigning Tier 2 champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Tier 2 champion is...
that's Wayne. That's Wayne.
Yes,
right?
the main Wayne.
It is Wayne. There we go. It was one of them. It was one or the other. I can't remember which one it was. I've slept since the last race. So.
I know the feel there. Williams Haas, what's the difference?
Yeah, true. I mean, they're both at the back, but yeah, round comes Vetsku, then he's coming up to the Vale chicane now and round towards Club Corner to finish off his lap. He'll be setting the initial pace for this qualifying session in that blue Williams. It's 27.9, not terrible from Vetsku, but I think that's about to be beaten. Not quite, no, Homogene. Not quite on the pace there, and actually setting a similar lap time to the other Ayrton. As
there we go.
Mar 10 goes on top of the 27.1.
Now, my prediction, from what I know of Silverstone lap times, I think pole position is going to be a high 26 today, so that is a very decent banker lap from Mar 10. As Myra goes into P2, 27.6. Amir can only manage a 28.1, the Season 1 champion, hoping to get back to form. NER Ayrton is also about to start his lap, so keep an eye on him. We've got Speed Alcoholic on the mediums. Yeah, that's an odd choice from him. Just wants to set a banker on those, and he's done a 28.6, which is only a tenth behind his teammate. As the main Wayne Tier 2 champion goes P4.
That's very respectable from the Tier 2 champion in the Haas. I think Ayrton is just starting his lap, so we'll keep an eye on that. Astafan makes his way around. Aces versus Kings, he's invalidated his lap, so it won't be much for him right now. It'll be Lost Ox on an out lap. I don't know who else is on the lap. The one to watch right now is Ayrton. He is the current driver on the lap. Yeah,
absolutely. He's the Danish double ESRL champion. He is not to be messed with. Especially here in Silverstone, he's had some fantastic results here, if I do remember rightly. But here he comes through Copse. He's gone down a gear to 7th and lifted off just slightly to get round, but it seemed like a perfect line to me as he comes through Maggots and Beckett and down towards the straight leading onto Stowe. I am still not good with names of everything around Silverstone, but Ayrton coming around Stowe now, cuts into the inside early and a wide exit, very nice indeed from the defending champion, down towards Vale and Club Corner, and down towards the line he comes. What's it going to be? I think it's going to be a 27-0. Yes. So onto provisional pole he goes, and Denev, the gauntlet has been laid down for the Alpine driver.
Yes, it certainly has. Zuber making his way around. He's invalidated his lap, so no decent lap for Zuber in the other Williams car. I think Lost Ox coming around now. He's coming around. I should know that corner. Stowe corner there is the upper McLaren. I think I know all the corner names. I think it's been a while. The off season is, is a lot longer than it looks.
It is, yeah.
Lost Ox P7.
Yeah, I certainly don't know the corner names. I know a few, but that's about it. I just keep getting them muddled up. The Toe goes P5. That's a decent opener from the Alpine driver after a disastrous race he had last week. He was hoping to bounce back today, and that is exactly what he's doing, into the top 5 with that lap. We've got Trugster coming round. He goes P9 in the Alfa Romeo. Good to see him out on track again as well. Alfred Chow will be next. He was, although he's not on a lap, he's going to be going again, but he was very impressive in Tier 2, if I remember rightly, last season. He didn't win the championship, but I think he joined late, and he was very impressive. So keep an eye on that Aston Martin driver as well, as he comes through turn 1 now.
It's Aintree that I forgot. Yeah, it's Abbey. I mean, I've got a map up, so I'm not remembering this, but it's Abbey Farm Village, the Loop, Aintree, then Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcock, Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Stowe, Vale, then Club, along to the Hamilton Straight. Wellington Straight, and it's Angle Straight as well.
Indeed, yeah. I am still not going to remember those. Alfred Chow looking decent for his first lap across the grass there to try and get as much of an inside line as possible as he comes down towards Copse. Got to commit really hard to Copse, but also risks going wide and invalidating your lap. Through Maggots and Beckett's, another set of corners you have to absolutely nail, otherwise you lose a huge amount of time. Alfred Chow looked very tentative at the exit there onto Chapel, so he's going to have lost a bit of time there, but it still looks okay. He just wants to set a time on the board, get a banker lap on, as he comes around towards the final chicane, and then down towards Club Corner. To the line comes Alfred Chow. What's it going to be? It's a 29.9, a long way off. So I think he's got more in the tank.
Yeah, I certainly think so as well. Aces is making his way around Stowe, but it's another slow lap for the McLaren driver. As I think he might have been validated again. Donev starts his lap in Alpine. Let's move back. I think Womack is making his way around. He's invalidated as well. He's in Stowe corner right now. They're probably peered to the pit lane.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Womack's still yet to set a time. A few cars, indeed, in that boat, not setting a time quite yet.
Sorry to interrupt. Just come out of the second sector now, making his way through Stowe corner, down towards that Vale chicane. A little bit of traffic ahead of him, but I'm not sure it's going to bother him too much. Looking to improve and maybe get ahead of his teammate. He's got about 5 tenths to find. He's 2 tenths up coming through. He's across the line now. Let's see where he goes. 27.4.
That's a very good, securing of his position there. Zuba's got a 5-place grid penalty somehow. I'm not sure how he's managed to do that. It looks like at pit exit there's a bit of carnage going on. But Donev is on a lap. This is the main man, the championship leader.
Amir up into P4, 27.7.
Oh wow, that's a great lap from Amir. He'll be very happy to be the dizzying heights of the top 4 again. Donev coming around the final corner now, up towards the line. This looks very good from the Alpine. It is at 26.9, and he's the first one to go into the 26s, and he takes provisional pole. And championship leader looking good.
Yeah, very good from Donev there to get into the 126s, but it's not over yet. No, not Donev, it's Avi, who is currently making his way through Maggots and Beckett's.
He certainly is, and coming on to Chapel, but that looked slow out of Beckett's, if I'm going to be honest. So I don't think he's going to be up with Donev and Ayrton, but he'll be hoping to at least be top 6, I think, with this opening lap, up with his teammate at least. Who's that? I think that was TF Mar 10 just improved. He did. No, Speed Alcoholic, that was who. Yeah, up to P5 in the Ferrari. Avi coming to the line, 28.0, down in P10, and the championship leader is going to have to do a lot better than that.
Yeah, he certainly is. Rills is out on out lap of the minutes to keep an eye on that other Haas car at the moment. 6 minutes left in the session, and our drivers are setting up their second runs on finish.
Yeah, Ayrton's just started his next lap in the Aston Martin. Defending champion, he knows that he's going to be challenged now today. Donev and Martin very close to his time, but look how close the times are in the midfield, Zuma. We've got Amir there, 8 tenths down on the leader, but then it's barely 2 tenths between him and P11. That's 5 cars within 2 tenths. It's fantastically close in the midfield. I think we're going to have some amazing battles as Ayrton nearly loses it there and just about manages to save it, but I do wonder how much time that will have cost him.
Yeah, certainly so. There's definitely a good race here on the cards at the minute. As we go through, I'm trying to find somebody on a lap. I think the only one who's on a lap right now is actually Ayrton. Maybe the other Haas as well. Yeah, Rills just ahead of him. Oh, and he's spun coming out of Chapel there. That is a huge shame for Rills. He's going to have to go out and try again for another lap, which might be his final try at setting a lap time. Not the best start to this session here in Tier 1. Watch Ayrton now coming down towards the Vale chicane, looking to go that bit quicker and break into the 26s as well, and I think he might just do it. Car number 13 makes his way around club corner now.
Yes.
26.7.
And that is one heck of a gauntlet to lay down for Donev. 2 tenths he needs to find in that Alpine now to get himself on pole, and the defending champion just showing his class there back onto pole position, and just saying to Donev, yeah, I'm still here. It doesn't matter that I got a penalty last week. You're still going to have to pull out everything to beat me. And sometimes it does work like that. Sometimes being defending champion, especially if you have a good start to the season, it has that intimidation factor on your fellow drivers as well, and affects their performance.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, it's the guy to beat. But I think when it comes to racing, you've just got to focus on what you're doing, not what everybody else is doing. I mean, there's some element of keeping an eye on what other drivers are up to, but if you're focusing on your race, then you're trying to get that result through, as Womack sets at 128.4.
Yeah, finally getting a time on the board there. So that means the only Zuba is stopped. I'm not sure what has happened to Zuba. He's just stopped on the grass in the Williams. So I think there may be a problem with his wheel. I think probably a technical issue. He's been disqualified. So he will start from the back if he can get this technical sorted. So I do hope he can do that. As his car pulls off. So yeah, Rils Teravillo and I think Alfred Chow doesn't really have a representative lap time either. So both of them still need to get something on the board, but everyone else is up there. And I think the biggest shock of this session so far, Sumo, is Robinet in P16.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps this track just hasn't settled with him, but Myra setting a second out lap right now, maybe it's poor lap as well, his teammates out on the track as well, but those Red Bulls looking quite competitive.
Yeah, definitely. For some reason the game removes the outlap indicator just before they finish the lap, so it can be confusing sometimes. So I think this is his first lap after his first outlap, but the Finnish driver coming through down to the end of Sector 1, just 3 thousandths down on his previous best, so not a lot really left on the table by Myro here, as through Sector 2 now he comes and up towards Cops. Else on the lap, Amir, who's had a really good opening lap there in the Mercedes, or well, second lap it was. He is currently sitting P7, so keep an eye on the Season 1 champion as well. The Division 2 champion P6, he's about to start a lap 2.
Myra's invalidated his lap just before. He's going to have to say to the ERS to go again. He just got up to his teammate as well. He wasn't far enough to give him any toe, but Myra's going to have to pull one lap out from somewhere after the invalidation.
Oh, that's such a shame for Myra, it really is. As I don't think he's really going to get another go at this, because those tyres are going to be too worn. And indeed, he nearly goes on the grass there, and I think that is going to be it for Myra. So no more lap times from the second Red Bull, but Martin coming across the line to start his final lap of the session. Donev is doing the same, about to come across the line to begin a lap. And here he goes, and NER Ayrton is on the way as well. Everyone's starting their final laps. Speed Alcoholic is there. And the main Wayne has started his lap already. Amir coming across the line. Is it going to be an improvement? Yes, up to P6 from the Season 1 champ. And he'll be happy with that. But hoping no one else beats him to the punch. Vetsku is invalidated. DTS Ayrton is... I'm not sure if he's on a lap, it's difficult to tell.
He just finished one, he improved a couple of places. I think he's been knocked back down a bit.
There we go, so well caught, Sumo. We've got the toe, I think, on the lap as well. Avi, we've got to have a look at the reigning champion, or the championship leader. I need to stop getting those terms mixed up. In the Mercedes, the Israeli driver coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. As TF Mar10 should be on a lap as well. I don't know if he's improved.
Decent lap from the main Wayne. He gets himself up to P5, 27.5.
Good stuff from the Division 2 champ. Top 5 for him, but can Avi get up there? Mar10 is invalidated. He's not going to challenge for pole. What about Avi? Coming through Vale now, up to the final corner on the racetrack. The Israeli driver coming through. Up towards the line, it's P8, just behind his teammate. It's not too bad, but it's still a long way back from where he needs to be.
Donev spun at Club Corner just as he was going to finish the lap. That is a huge shame for the Alpine driver. Down there's a McLaren about to cross the line as well. That's Aces. He's a 10th up on his previous. It won't see him toward the front, but it could see him into the top 10 if he can find that time. It just shy, 127.9.
Robinet is done for the session in P16. That's a huge shock. But meanwhile, NER Ayrton is a 10th up on his previous best, believe it or not, as he comes down towards the final few corners, Vale, and down towards Club Corner. can he improve even more? I think he's going to 26.7. It's down to half a tenth again in the end, but it's still another improvement from the defending champ, and he's going to be very difficult to beat today. Lostock, no, that was Rils Taravillo, up to P14, but still a long way back from where I expected him to be, if I'm honest. That's a very nice helmet, though. I do like that. Yes, but I think Robinet, P17, that is a real shock.
Yeah, that is a huge shock from Robinet. He'll be hoping for a much better race as well, and Rill's not having the best qualified session as well. We've got a Vetsku fan in the chat, Lucas.
We do.
Vetsku is handsome and Helvetin, good to play, yeah. Anyways.
Fair enough. I'll take your word for it there, mate. But let's go through the grid. NER Ayrton takes pole position by 2.5 tenths from Dunev, the Bulgarian, in the Alpine. Martin in P3, also got in a bit of trouble with the stewards last week, so hoping not to repeat that. Myra, P4, his teammate just behind, not too bad. Third row, the main Wayne and Speed Alcoholic down in 6th. Amir and Avi take up the 4th row in the Mercedes. Vetsku P9, DTS Ayrton 10, and then Aces, The Toe, Trugster, Rils Taravillo, Lostock, Wumax, shockingly Robinet and Alfred Chow, the last of the ones who set a time, with Zuba on the back row after being disqualified. Hopefully he sorted out whatever technical issue he had during that session.
Hopefully so. It's never good to have a technical issue in the middle of a race, but that is the risk with simulation racing.
Indeed it is. I'm afraid I can't understand the language you're speaking in, Lapis, but I'm sure it's unending support for F1 Vetsku. We do have some drab-looking skies, I have to say, here at Silverstone, so maybe we might get a spot of rain during this race, which would definitely spice things up, although it does look like we're starting, at least, in dry conditions.
Yeah, certainly so. I've just come from a very wet Belgium, so it does certainly look like the rain could be on the cards, although it may even brighten up any drivers currently in the stream. Would love to inform us, that would be great, so we know what is to come. But either way, we've got 10 seconds, and we are going to head down to the grid.
Indeed we are, and we're going to have a formation lap first of all, of course, and I'm going to do a bit of a helmet review during the formation lap this time, so for the ones we didn't get to last week. So let's just get all our data on the screen. Tyres, though, first of all, almost everyone on mediums. Interestingly, Ayrton on the hards, with 6 drivers behind him, all on mediums. Then Avi also on the hards, and then drivers towards the back, unsurprisingly, more of them going for the alternative strategy. But I think Vetsku, he's got a lot of support in the chat, but that decision to go on softs to start off with is dubious, I think. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But you never know, it could work. Yes, in the meantime, so Ayrton 0, Dunev 0, a lot of default helmets. Martin we got last week. Myra, that is very nice. It's sort of, well, ironically for a Finnish driver, it's Swedish colours, but we'll gloss over that. It is rather nice. I think I'll
like
give that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's got a red front on it as well.
Oh, okay. I think we'll go for a 9 on that. I do like that.
Yeah, I think that 9 as well. Yeah, there's various talent.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. The main Wayne we got to last week, Speed gets a 0. Amir, it's like pure blue, which I think deserves a 6 on its own. Avi, who we ended the review on last week. Yeah, that's certainly one of the helmet patterns of all time. I think, I mean, it's different. I'll give him that. As he's been hit by, I'm not sure who. Did teammate? Oh no, that's not gone well at all. The Mercedes Toto Wolff meeting there is going to be very interesting. So both of them are going to start on cold tyres. Vetsku, I quite like that. Pure red with a sort of dark red sort of outline. I'll give that a 7, possibly. GTS Ayrton 0, but yeah, it looks like we're getting ready to start on the grid. Rils Taravillo, by the way, I really like that. He gets a 9.5 for that. Because we saw it earlier. But anyways, we're about to get going. Red lights coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the British Grand Prix. It's a good start by Deneuve beside Ayrton, but the second phase way better for Ayrton, and Deneuve loses the place to Martin with a little bit of a moment. Someone's gone way off. I think that's Amir. Yeah, all the way off. At turn 1, Ayrton leads the race. Martin just behind him. Deneuve's there as well. Myra and Speed side by side through turn 4. Speed all the way around the outside. Is there going to be contact? No. Brilliant racing between the two of them. Speed up to P5. There's more cars going backwards at the back. I think that's Aces at the back there, losing a lot of places. Myra and Vetsku battling. Meanwhile, back here, Vetsku all the way around the outside. We've seen that in real life. It didn't work there. It's not going to work here, but those soft tyres working well for now as Avi gets himself a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. It must have been an illegal overtake in the game's eyes as Martin putting Ayrton under a huge amount of pressure at the front.
Yeah, I was riding on board with Avi, the championship leader. Awful start on cold hard tyres. He lost the rear, made a bit of contact with somebody and just shipped a lot of positions. He's down 5 from the start. His teammate must have made contact in the midfield somewhere and is down 11 places, along with Aces, 8 places as well. So it's a poor start throughout the grid.
Absolute disaster for Avi then, and for Mercedes in general, colliding on the formation lap and then both of them getting awful starts. A mere 3 seconds back from the pack. It was Aces going backwards earlier on. Ayrton, 1:35, sets the fastest lap, but look at this pressure being put on by the Red Bull driver of TF Martin. He is right behind that Aston Martin, and those medium tyres, he's going to want to use them to their full potential. He does not want to be stuck behind Ayrton for this first stint, because it would just mean he straight up loses the race, because Ayrton will have the much better tyres later on.
Yeah, you want to get past as soon as possible, probably by Stowe Corner, especially on lap 3 when that DRS comes in. There's one thing I won't want to be during this race, Ghost, and that's Toto Wolff's desk.
Absolutely right. Meanwhile, Rils Taravillo up to P10, Robin up to P11. He started 18th. So, sorry, 17th, so up 6 places.
He's closing in, he's getting a lot closer as we come through Maggots and Beckett. He's all over the back of that Aston Martin. He's going to have the much better grip coming through these twisty sections of the circuit. Deneuve is not too far behind as well. He'll have the DRS surely on the next lap, and any mistakes. He's making Ayrton use a bit more of that ERS than he would. This is not the start that Ayrton would have wanted. He would have wanted to stretch out a bit better. Oh, and almost losing it. The Red Bull pushed so hard.
Wow, Martin really trying hard to get past the defending champ, but that was well held, I have to say, by the Red Bull driver, but he's lost a fair amount of time as a result. He was right behind the Aston Martin, but it's interesting the slightly different lines they took through Beckett's there. Just Ayrton taking a bit of a wider line on entry and Martin just sticking to the inside, so it was interesting to see. I don't think either was really better, it was just preferred lines, and of course you can do that.
As well, I've been watching Martin, I keep wanting to call him Mario, but it's Martin. Martin takes a little bit of a later apex than Ayrton, who gets on there much earlier, so it's, there's a few corners like that around this circuit where you can take some different lines and gain time or lose time.
Yeah, especially with elite settings, everyone in this league knows no assist at all, even the racing lines. So all these guys making their own lines. And
look how much time he gained through.
Yeah,
through
wow.
The corpse there, the grip just showing itself through there. He's not going to want to make a mistake. He's going to have the DRS this time as they come through Chapel now.
Oh, it's
DRS
a slight
opening
error.
up. time penalty for Avi a little bit further back in the grid. A slight error from the Red Bull. Can he close in enough? I don't think he's going to be able to make that move.
No, he's not. Ayrton just taking the easier line there through Stowe once he knew Martin wasn't close enough. But this Red Bull is not going to go away, I don't think, despite the little errors. We don't see Ayrton make those little errors, but Martin clearly pushing hard, setting the fastest lap as well, 3/10 behind, and Ayrton is going to have to work extremely hard to keep this Red Bull behind.
Yes, he certainly is.
Archibald Taravello has spun further back at the final corner. That's such a shame for him.
But yeah, Ayrton's got a lot of work to do here, it seems. Martin, another slight mistake there, losing the rear end once again. He's not going to want to make too many more
here
of
he
those,
comes.
so that chance to take will go. But here they come, in towards Brooklands now. It's down the inside for the Red Bull. It's side by side now between the two of them. It's the outside line coming through Luffield now. Can he make it all the way round? Ayrton just pulls ahead again, but the better exit goes to that Red Bull for that wider line, and they're going to continue to go side by side as they run down towards Cobb's Corner. It's flat out through here. Is anyone going to back up? No backing out here. Incredible racing from the pair of them, and they're going to continue to go down side by side, but Martin pulls ahead of Ayrton at the minute. Brilliant racing between the two. Martin takes the lead.
Absolutely fantastic stuff here, but Ayrton's going to have the DRS. Deneuve is right behind as well. He's taking advantage of this battle. Here comes the Aston Martin in the on the hard tyres. He's going to have to go around the outside of Stowe. Can he hold it all the way around with those harder tyres? He's going to try it. He's still side by side all the way down. Martin has to go round the outside, and now he's going to have the inside for the second corner of Vale, down towards Club. He's still got the inside. They're still all the way side by side. Amazing racing between these two. Martin just ahead, but they're going to continue side by side all the way through the racetrack. Ayrton and Martin. Deneuve is just right behind, hoping that he can find something, some way through here, but these two are just incredible, and they're still side by side all the way through. Ayrton has regained the place, but Martin's going to have the DRS, but so is Ayrton. And
no,
down
Ayrton got it.
Oh, Ayrton got it.
Martin doesn't have it.
Oh wow,
but he's going to continue to go down the inside, and they're going to go side by side for the second time here, and they're still trying to find a way past the pair of them. This is incredible stuff, side by side for corner after corner, but Ayrton gets ahead again, and it's invited the main Wayne and Speed Alcoholic into this battle as well, so this could be a 5-car fight. What is this, 2022 Silverstone in real life will happen again? Oh my god, and just pushed off the circuit, but still left enough space, no contact made between the two of them. Deneuve's going to go for it on the move. Great racing between the two. Still no contact made in the Alpine. Gets up into P2.
And Ayrton, through all of this, is still leading the race somehow. Deneuve up to second place. Martin is going to be gutted that he's down to third after all of that. The main Wayne and Speed, like you said, are caught right up to this battle as a result. But it's going to continue on all the way, I think, until those medium tyres start to degrade. And that's going to be the concern of all the cars behind Ayrton here, because the defending champ is going to have so much better tyres. No, Martin spun! Martin, Deneuve nearly spun it at the same place, but Martin, clearly in sympathy, spun himself. Down to P6 he goes, and he is out of this battle now, and the Division 2 champion, Domain Wayne, is on the podium.
Vetsku's getting involved in this fight now as well. He's all over the back of Speed. He's got a bit more grip on them softs, but that's going to be waning for him in a little while. But he's got involved now too, so there's a lot of cars fighting here. We've got a 5-car battle for the lead of this race. Main Wayne is starting to fall off a little bit, but it falls on Deneuve now to put the challenge onto Ayrton, and he's still close enough for the moment, and those mediums are still holding on.
They certainly are, and so are the softs, to be honest. Vetsku doing really well here in the Williams. He's up to P5, putting pressure on Speed Alcoholic, who finished, I believe, second place in the championship last season. So no mean feat at all from Vetsku. Myra down to P9 in the meantime, putting pressure on the Toe, who's also done well in the Alpine on those hard tyres. He's in a good position here. Amir's recovered to P14.
Here comes Deneuve. He's going to pull to the inside now as they come to Stowe. He got a great exit on the corner, and he's got ahead before they reach that part of the circuit. So Deneuve now takes the lead. That is the second change of the lead in this race. At the moment, Ayrton is still all over the back of him. Around this circuit, the tyre wear just seems to not be as prevalent around other tracks, and so these tyres just aren't falling off as quickly as you'd expect. Deneuve says the fastest lap as well, and he closed it so quickly on Ayrton.
Yeah, the tyre wear around this track is not really an issue, to be honest. It's very tyre happy, this track, in terms of the wear. So you won't see those mediums drop off for a while yet. But Ayrton has got to stick behind Deneuve now. He can't fall out of DRS range. Otherwise, he's going to have his job be a lot harder later on in the race. I think as it stands, Ayrton's still by far the favourite to win on those hard tyres at the moment, but we shall see as Vetsku gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limits warnings, and that is not going to please his fans in the chat.
No, certainly not, and he's running well at the moment in P5. Mr. Williams doing really well. Our reigning Tier 2 champion in the mix as well, P3 for the Haas driver, having a great showing here in Silverstone. At the moment, Ayrton is struggling a little bit. He's struggling to stay close enough. If Deneuve looks like he might be able to pull out that second gap and give himself the advantage in this first stint at the moment, and he has. He's pulled out a second. Ayrton's got DRS for the moment, but I don't think he's going to have it next lap.
These two are going to be amazing all season long, I think. Myra gets past the toe further back, a simple DRS pass on the run to Stowe, and the Red Bull looking to recover there. Amir up to P13 as well. Who's that in the pits? It's Vetsku in the pits. Obviously those soft tyres starting to go. I'm interested to see what tyres Vetsku chooses, whether it's going to be hards to the end or a two-stop. Remains to be seen, but Ayrton is now back in that 1 second range. I don't know if there was a mistake from Deneuve or Ayrton just pushed incredibly hard. It's hard for Vetsku, so I think trying to go all the way, it's a bold strategy, but we'll see if it works. And in fact, he's all the way down to last place. That is how long the pit lane is here in Silverstone. Aces versus Kings getting past his teammate further back, but Ayrton just about sticking in this 1 second range. Perhaps those mediums are now starting to lose a bit of the grip they had at the start of the race.
Yeah, perhaps. Just having a look at the ERS, the top four have very little left after all that fighting. Martin has managed to save a fair bit after his spin, but there's very differing amounts of ERS up and down the grid at the moment, and it looks like there's no aces on the attack actually. He's just got past Alpha Chow as they've come through the car.
Yeah, it's battles going on all the way up and down the grid. Trugster right behind Avi as well, the championship leader, with that 5 second penalty, and is not going to be able to remove it in the steward's room because he's going to have to serve it in the pits. But Trugster hoping to stay here. Deneuve sets the fastest lap again, but Ayrton still just about within that 1 second range, and you can't shake off NER Ayrton that easily.
No, certainly not. He'll try everything he can. Meanwhile, Trugster is trying to close in on our championship leader, Avi, at the moment. He's just going to have to follow him through sector 1 at the minute and try and make a move a bit later. He's got about double the amount of battery does the Alfa Romeo. So coming down the Wellington straight here, he might have a shot at the Mercedes as they come through. Aintree now opens up that DRS, giving him that little boost. Avi trying to break the toe at the moment, but no move made by the Alfa Romeo as they come into Brooklands.
A beautiful helmet on Trugster, by the way. Lostock gets himself a 3 second time penalty at the back. Wills Taravillo down the inside of Alfred Chow. It looks like he's made that move in the Haas and trying to recover after his spin earlier on at the final corner a few laps ago. Trugster still right behind Avi, and Ayrton is still within that 1 second range. They are both pulling away from the main lane, but Deneuve just cannot shake off this Aston Martin at all, as Trugster is going to open the DRS on the run to Stowe, but loses a lot of time through Beckett, and I think that might be why he hasn't gotten past the Mercedes yet. Just a better line from Avi in that Beckett's corner gives Trugster no chance to overtake down the straight.
So I wish more cars had stuff on their wheel like caps. You know, I
Yeah.
hope they do that. I hope more cars do that this in 2023 because it'll be really interesting. Aces has had a spin out of Stowe. That's a shame for McLaren, who was looking to recover after a poor start. But yeah, I was looking at the Alfa Romeo ones, and I was just thinking that there's not enough of that along the cars. There's only 2 cars, I think, that have something on.
Yeah, McLaren and Alfa Romeo, and I can't remember if there are any others, but certainly those 2. I know it's a sponsor advertisement, but I do like the Chrome, Google Chrome ones on the McLaren. They're quite cool. Avi, his day going from bad to worse at the moment. He's gotten himself a 3-second time penalty, but Ayrton has just spotted that there's a red flashing light on the back of the Alpine in front of him, and you know what that means. No energy in that Alpine, and Ayrton knows that the car ahead is vulnerable, and staying within that 1 second range has paid dividends, and he's now in the perfect position to make an overtake on the next lap.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's got a little bit more battery in the tank than that Alpine. The Alpine's tried to use a bit more to try and shake away Ayrton, which has worked against him now, as Ayrton is closing back up, and it's going to have the better tyres now, as those mediums will surely be falling off.
Yeah, we'll start to see mediums pitting in the next few laps, Sumo. For sure, Deneuve going to be really struggling at this point. Ayrton taking a much better line there. He's going to have a better exit on the run down.
Oh, a bit of contact made. That was Myra just tapping the back of the Alpha Tower. He started to interrupt you there, Coast. But he was very close as they came through Farm and Village there. And he's going to open up the DRS now. He's on the attack of that Alpha Tower. I'm not sure he's going to have to go. He's going to dive down at Brooklyn's, perhaps leaving the space. Here's the Alpha Tower. They're going to go side by side now. Coming through in towards Luffield. It's the outside line for the Red Bull. But that line closes off as the Alpha Tower has the better line and closes the door on the Red Bull.
Yeah, Myra's still trying to recover there. DTS Ayrton doing really well though, up in P6. He'll be very happy with where he is at the moment. But here comes Ayrton again now for the race lead. DRS going to be open, but he's not using the ERS. He's content at the moment to just stay behind Deneuve. He doesn't want to give the Alpine any advantage at all. He knows Deneuve is going to pit in the next few laps, and he's just going to sit there and wait for Deneuve to pit. And then he's just going to have free, clean air, giving no advantage to Deneuve, and just wait for the right time to pounce. A Speed Alcoholic is the first of the medium runners to enter the pits, and I'm interested to see where he exits.
Yeah, certainly. So I was just having a look. It doesn't look like it. I don't think rain's going to be on the clouds. It looks like the sun is just breaking its way through.
Yeah. Which is almost a shame. I know the last race that that we were just in, you were commentating on, Sumo, that was dry to start with and wet towards the end, so I was hoping that this might be similar, but it looks like it's going to be dry all the way, as NER Ayrton right behind Deneuve. A slightly different line there again through that right-hander, but Ayrton really putting the Bulgarian driver under pressure now.
Myra on the attack once again. He's inviting the Tow in to join this fight as well, who's going to be on a bit better tyres. These guys will be coming in soon, I'm sure, as the medium runners have started to trickle their way into the pits, but Myra is all over the back of this Alpha Tauri, who's doing a great job defending off.
Ayrton's still not using any battery. He's still just perfectly happy to stay behind Deneuve at this point, but this is the battle at the moment. The Tow, Myra and DTS Ayrton all the way down towards Stowe. Is Myra going to be close enough to make a move? Here we go. Round the outside goes the Red Bull at Stowe. DTS Ayrton tries to hold it. Deneuve is into the pits further up meanwhile, as Myra has the inside line now, but I think that was Ayrton, DTS Ayrton into the pits, was it? Yes, it was. So Myra and the Tow both stay out. Myra, one more lap on those mediums, is now going to be under huge pressure from the other Alpine just behind. Deneuve exits on the hard tyres, unsurprisingly, and now NER Ayrton leads the race by 11.7 seconds.
Abbey finds himself in P4 at the moment, championship leader, but still to stop. He is starting on the hard tyre though, so he'll have a bit of an advantage when he does come in. He'll surely move over to the mediums. It's currently no safety guard, anybody keeping it green at the moment at the halfway point of this race. As Donev comes out just ahead of Womack.
That's very important for him, but he's going to struggle on those cold, hard tyres to keep Womack behind. He has to make sure he doesn't lose time to his fellow countrymen here as they come through towards the end of Sector 1. I think he's going to be okay, but the next few corners are going to be very difficult for him. As the other AlphaTauri is that of DTS Ayrton. Unfortunately, after doing so well to start off this race in the first stint, has spun and is all the way down to 18th place.
Myra under pressure now. The toe is making a move on that Red Bull. It looks like it's got the DRS very close in. It looks to the inside, doesn't make the move. Lets it stick. He knows he's coming in this lap probably. In comes that Red Bull. In comes the finish driver.
Yeah, good call there. Myra into the pits for what I'm sure is going to be a set of hard tyres. Donev is going as fast as he possibly can here. He just has to make sure he doesn't come out behind Ayrton, because if that happens and he can't get past, or he can't get past with Ayrton's cold tyres at least, then that is going to be race over for certain. So he's got to really push it. He's already extended a second and a half to Womack as Myra drops down after pitting. Where is the Finnish driver going to end up? I think just behind Speed Alcoholic and Alfred and Vetsku. Vetsku getting out in front as well. Don't forget about that Williams driver, remember. Started on the softs, is going on the hards all the way to the end. It's going to be a slog, but it might just work.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm just going to try and look at the gap. The next gap 30 seconds. A long time in the pit lane here. It's a very long pit lane.
Oh, so Speed Alcoholic, really sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. The main Wayne nearly going all the way around the outside. Speed down the inside after the DRS, and Wayne tried to hold him off, but that is a change in race position there. They are racing each other, these two, and Speed Alcoholic getting past the Division 2 champion.
Not a lot of ERS between the two of them either. But yes, Donev about 30 seconds. He's got some work to do. He's got to try and push as hard as he can and try and save a bit of ERS as well in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be careful not to use too much of the battery here. Avi is into the pits. DTS Ayrton gets himself a time penalty to just nail in the coffin, really, for him. Womack into the pits for a set of mediums, I'm sure. Avi also. So Donev will be up to P3 with his teammate just ahead of him, and obviously the top two still yet to pit, but Alpine will enjoy both running on the podium positions for the moment.
Yeah, they certainly will be great for their campaign in the Constructors' Championship if things were to finish as they were, but the toes still to pit as well, but a decent gap ahead. He's in romance that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That gap to Ayrton between him and Donev is coming down. It's not coming down very quickly, but it is coming down by maybe about half a tenth a lap or so. We've got, sorry, half a second or lap. We've got a spinner in Sector 1. It was one of the Williams, I think it was Zuba. As Alfred Chow's retired. Where is that?
That's right at Atri. Abbey, sorry.
I can't tell if it's in the pit lane or not. It doesn't. It looks like the car has stopped, so I think that is a crash. I'm very. Oh, he is. He is. Yeah, championship leader in the pits, just after his teammate DNFs at the end of the pit lane. The toe follows the race leader in. So Donev, here we go. Round Stowe now in that Alpine. Hard tyres, 2 laps old. Ayrton straps on the mediums, as you'd expect. Here comes Donev round the final couple of corners and down to start his next lap. Where is Ayrton? Look at the right of your screen. Are you going to see an Aston Martin? Fastest lap of the race from Donev. Where is Ayrton on the screen? There's the Aston Martin. He's just in front of Donev, but he's going to have very cold tyres. I think Donev has to overtake him right now, or else he's going to have no chance of winning this race. High stakes here for the Alpine driver.
Yeah, he took a much wider line through there, a little bit shaky as the exit, but he's got the DRS now. Ayrton's going to go defensive to the inside as they come down towards Brooklyn. He's got to do everything he can, the Alpine, to get around the outside, using those warmer tyres to his advantage. They're going to be side by side, but the outside becomes the inside now, as Donev does get ahead for now, and he's got to try and stay ahead of him now.
That's crucial for Donev. It gives him at least half a chance at winning this race, because if he'd allowed Ayrton to get those tyres up to temperature and stay ahead, that would have been game over. But I think Ayrton is still clear favourite to win the race. But Donev has given himself half a chance at least, as Martin now sets the fastest lap, but he's all the way down in P17.
Yeah, he certainly is. Ayrton will have the tyre advantage once those tyres get up to temperature, and already, look, you can see he's catching up. He's got that DRS as well. So Donev's got some work to do now to keep Ayrton, the defending champion, from overtaking.
Absolutely. This will be one amazing drive from Donev if he can keep the Aston Martin behind. I'll tell you what would help him out right now, a safety car, just to reduce the number of laps available to Ayrton, although it would also mean that Ayrton would have better tyres at the end, so sort of it's a win-lose really, not really a...
Oh, who's that?
Who's that? Is that
Vetsky?
Williams?
Zuber.
Zuber, okay. Gets out of the way of everyone, thankfully, but Ayrton now, excuse me, with the DRS, he's got a lot more battery in the tank than Donev as well, so he's got to just pick his moment, and if there's one thing the reigning champion is good at, it's his patience, waiting for the right time to make the move, and then pouncing as soon as he sees a weakness. And I'm sure as soon as that red light comes on the back of that Alpine, Ayrton is going to pounce right on it, as we've got another yellow flag. I think someone else has spun. Is that a hat? Oh, okay. Vetsku currently making the fans in the chat very happy. He's sitting P5. There's the red light though on the back of Donev's car, and Ayrton knows now that his rival for winning this race is vulnerable. There's still another 9 laps to go, and Donev is going to be wishing that it was a lot less, because he is going to really struggle now to end up winning this race. Ayrton setting the fastest lap, just to rub in what I just said.
I think what Donev's got to hope for here is he can keep Ayrton behind for long enough so that those medium tyres start to lose their advantage, and then the hards can come into their own towards the dying stages of the race, and then he should just keep him behind with sheer tyre advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think Donev has lower wings than Ayrton as well, slightly, but I don't think it's much of a difference, and I think the main difference is really their ERS usage, because Donev has used so much of it to keep the Aston behind, and now he's gotten a 3-second time penalty, and I think that is game over, because you don't see Ayrton getting those ever. So I think Donev now is going to have to hope for a miracle to win this race.
Yeah, he certainly will. He's going to have to hope for a mistake. Zuber's retired. He's in the pit lane though, so that shouldn't be a safety car from him. It's a shame. He's a lapped car, but he could have just stayed in and scored some points, perhaps. Is there points for positions?
There is, but here comes Ayrton now down the inside of Donev. He has smelt blood, and the reigning champion back in the lead of the race. Donev with a time penalty as well, looks to the inside, but it was just to try and scare Ayrton. Didn't really have any intention of going for that, and I think that is going to be race over well and truly. Fastest lap from Ayrton, and I can't see anyone else winning this race now.
No, certainly not, unless a safety car comes in and really throws a spanner.
Yeah.
It works. The chat is full, well, I wouldn't say full of Vetsky fans, probably about 50%.
Well, meanwhile, we've got a battle for the podium here between the Division 2 champion, the main Wayne, and Speed Alcoholic. It's just teetering on that 1 second margin. I don't think Wayne got DRS. No, he didn't on this lap, so he's just trying his absolute best to stay within range of that Ferrari after speed overtook him earlier on. There's not much pace difference between the two of them, but it's I think going to be difficult for the main Wayne to get past the South African driver.
Yeah, certainly. So meanwhile, Truckster going down the inside, around the outside of Robinet. At the moment, they're down at Brooklyn. It's the inside, outside becomes the inside for the Alfa Romeo, and Robinet's going to stick to the outside line. He's going to try. They're going to go side by side. I don't know. Robinet is now down into P9, while Truckster speeds off ahead towards Cops in P8, and he's got Amir now for company. Thus, the Ferrari and that Mercedes is looking quick.
A 3-second time penalty for Trugster is going to be like a dagger to the heart after he's been doing so well at the moment in P8, and that's going to cost him a position. Another fastest lap from Ayrton. He is gone. I think only a safety car will really throw this race into jeopardy now, but Trugster still holding on. Robinet has had an incredible recovery from all the way at the back of the grid. Here he is in P9, challenging for 8th, but Amir down the inside in the Mercedes as the Ferrari holds it around the outside, has the inside for the next corner, but I think he's going to hold on, but it's going to cost him a lot of time. And
yellow
Trugster,
flag, there's a yellow flag.
I think that's lost stock.
Spinning.
Yeah, lost stock at Sector 3, but the two Mercedes, Amir and Avi, putting huge pressure on the Ferrari of Robinet. The Frenchman having to look both ahead and behind him. He can't really catch up to Trugster with these two hounding him behind. Even though they both have penalties, it's going to be difficult. And here we go, Amir down the inside. He loves this track, does Amir, and up to P9 he goes. And Robinet is going to be annoyed with that, because although he only needs to stay within 3 seconds of Trugster to take that 8th place, he is still going to want to be directly behind him in case anything does happen.
Yeah, certainly so, but good move from Amir to get up ahead of Robinet, who's demoted down to P10 at the moment, I think. Vetsku, meanwhile, is all over the back of the main Wayne. What's happened here with the main Wayne? He's dropped well off the speed alcoholic. The fight for the podium now becomes a fight for 4th, and the Vetsku fans maybe having a reason to cheer as Vetsku is on the attack.
He certainly is on those 12-lap old hard tyres. They're going to be struggling towards the end of the race compared to Wayne's, so Vetsku knows his time has to be now, although that penalty he's got is going to really cost him at the end here, because the main Wayne does not have one. The tow as well, right behind Myra, he's looking for a very good result for Alpine, a 2 and 6 as it stands. It could turn into a 2 and 5 if he can catch up to Vetsku as well, as Vetsku now down the inside of the Haas. He's going to make that move. Into P4 he goes, and now he's got to charge after speed alcoholic and hope he can extend 3 seconds.
Yeah, certainly so. I'm just having a look. No warnings from the main line.
Very impressive around this track, I have to say. To have no warnings after 21 laps.
Wow, Ayrton has 2 warnings. He got 2 in 1 corner.
Wow, okay. So, Ayrton clearly not completely infallible, but obviously Deneuve 2 seconds behind now with that penalty. It is Ayrton's race to lose, that's for sure. And meanwhile, though, the main Wayne has just seen a red flashing light on the back of Vetsku, so he knows as long as he can stay within the DRS, he's not going to have any trouble keeping up on the straights at least, as Myra continues to hold off the tow for P6 for now, but they are charging through and getting closer and closer to the 4th and 5th places, which is not good news for Vetsku, as it would drop him another position.
Meanwhile, this battle between Robinet and the 2 Mercedes continues on. Avi trying to find a way through, Robinet trying to find a way past Amir. Amir trying to catch back up to Trugster at the moment, and the only one without a penalty thus far is Robinet, who will gain these places if he stays with these guys.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do, the Frenchman in the Ferrari, and just stay with them. But Avi just practically pushing the Ferrari through that corner there as they come down on the straight. Avi is going to use the ERS. He's going to go for a move down the inside of the Ferrari. Robinet leaves him the room as they still go side by side. It's going to be the inside now for Robinet, but those better medium tyre grip. Medium tyres have the grip on Robinet, but just not quite enough to make the move stick for Avi, but is now going to go around the outside for Cops. Here they go, all the way through, and Robinet on the inside, but it's Avi who's taken the place. Great stuff from him, and Robinet is going to be frustrated that he's lost those positions.
Meanwhile, the battle for P6 has begun to emerge as the toe is all over the back of Myra now, and is on those medium tyres, who has the advantage, could maybe go forward and challenge the main Wayne and Vetsku if he can get past this Red Bull. But there's only 4 laps left.
Yeah, not long to go at all, and the toe, well, what's the gap to Vetsku now? It's 2.4, 2.7, so the toe, as it stands, would be up to P5 after penalties are said and done. So he's going to be happy with where he is at the moment, but he's going to have to hope that he doesn't stray out of range of Vetsku. He's not actually going to know exactly how far ahead Vetsku is, because the game only gives you the next 2 drivers ahead of you on the grid. So he's not going to know that he's within range of P5, so he's just going to have to drive best he can, and if he does miss out, he's going to be gutted. Yeah,
he certainly will be, but he's in a good stead right now. He's close to the back of Myra. Myra's struggling a little bit, maybe on those hard tyres. His medium's only probably got a couple more laps left in him of decent race pace, so the toe has to really take that advantage and run with it as best he can. Opening up the DRS now, can he close in on this Red Bull down towards Stowe? I don't think he's going to be close enough on this particular occasion. He might have to try and chance to move somewhere else on this run, but the toe continues to chase after Myra.
He does indeed, and Myra continues to chase after the main Wayne. They're both approaching the back of these two in front of them as the Mercedes swap positions. Side by side they go. No team orders at Mercedes, which could be a risk after the formation lap, but Avi down the inside of Amir, and the championship leader, who won't be after this race, but hoping to get as many points as possible, but his teammate down the inside of the final corner. They're still going here, and Avi keeps the place for now, but brilliant racing between the two, but it's lost them a lot of time to Trugster, which is going to frustrate Robinet, because it could lose him the position in the end after penalties.
Well, this has just got interesting. Myra's caught up to the back of the main Wayne. It looks like Vetsku on his old tyres is slowing them all down. Yeah. So this is all becoming all aboard the Vetsku train now, and the toe will be really looking forward to this.
Absolutely, 2.5 laps to go as Rils Taravillo makes a move for P12 further back. Vetsku gets himself another penalty. Oh no, huge shame for the Williams driver, and that's going to be him all the way down to P7 for certain when all is said and done. It's still a decent position, but he'll be disappointed with that, I think, as the toe continues to put pressure on Myra, but now with the Red Bull having DRS, it's going to be even harder to get past.
Certainly will. Going to have to rely on that advantage when you make a move into club. He has a look. It's a late move from the Alpine.
Goodness.
Myra spots it, and it's great that he did, because there's no contact made between the two. But Toe manages to go around the outside for the second part of the chicane, and that's the Toe up into P6. He's seen that Vetsku is up ahead and is slow, and the main Wayne is the car he needs to get past. And this has really woke up this Alpine driver.
Yep, 2 laps to go, nearly loses it there. Wow, what a save that was, but he's going to be compromised on the run all the way down here. Does he have the DRS? I don't think he does. He does not, so Myra is going to be back on the case down the inside, and the toe is going to be gutted with that, because it's going to lose him time running side by side with Myra, and it's all from his own small error. They continue to go all the way round side by side. Myra almost off the track to try and hold the outside line, but can't get past, but it's going to lose the toe time, and with 1.5 laps to go, he's going to struggle to get past the main Wayne for what will be P4.
Yeah, certainly so. The Myra is still having a look. He's all over the back of this Alpine now. That tyre advantage has slipped away from the Alpine, and it's now looking to go more toward the way off the Red Bull at the minute, but he's still got a little bit of time, as he knows. The Ayrton has started the last lap, so just one more lap to go, and here comes Myra down the inside of Stowe corner. There he goes. He's made the move at the late point. He had the DRS. I think he was forced to make the move. They're continuing to go side by side, coming down now to the Vale chicane. It's the inside for the Alpine, and he closes the door on the Red Bull, keeping him behind for the time being. He's got one lap left to catch this Haas.
Avi, meanwhile, getting past Trugster for P8. Another point salvaged for the Mercedes driver. But these four still locked in battle. They're saying in the chat that Vetsku can do the magic tricks. Well, he's going to need one to finish any higher than P7 today, as we are on the final lap. The main Wayne right behind the Williams as they go down here. It's going to be DRS for the Haas driver. Is he going to make the move, or is he just going to stick behind? Of course he's going to go for it. No, he's not actually. He's going to stick behind. He knows he's got fourth place in the bag as long as he keeps the toe behind just there. As we've got to switch though to NER Ayrton because he's coming through the final few corners. It looked like he would be severely challenged today by Donev, but it's just been imperious from Ayrton. The toe gets a 3-second time penalty further back. No! So there goes his chances of P5. But anyway, Ayrton coming through the final corner. He wins the British Grand Prix by some margin.
Here comes the main Wayne. He's going to go pull alongside Vetsku now. I think this might invite the toe down as well. I'm not too sure he is. He's going to look to the inside. He doesn't really need to make this move, but he's going for it anyway. It's side by side as they go through Vale, and it's ahead. It's the Alpine at the moment. Drama in the end, at the very end. Very good racing from everybody. And a speed alcoholics cross the line for P3, but it's the main Wayne who holds on for P4. Great showing from the Tier 2 champion. The toe finishes 5. Myra 6 and Vetsky all the way down to 7 for solid drive.
Whoa, contact to the final corner between Amir and Trugster. Trugster is out of the race. Trugster tried to go for a send down the inside into Vale. Amir did not see it coming. It was very, very late. And I think the Season 1 champion is going to be absolutely furious at that one. It's caught out Robinette as well, who's also going to be furious because he was on for a decent result today and he's had to settle for 11th after getting caught up in that. Trugster is going to be very much public enemy number 1 in the stewards room after that particular maneuver, I think. So drama at the end of the race here, but regardless, a fantastic win for NER Ayrton.
Wow, another head scratcher for the stewards, so for ESRL again. I'll have to keep an eye on the stewards room after that, but wow, what an incredible race around Silverstone.
Absolutely, as always, this racetrack brings out the best in racing. It can bring out some DRS trains, but you know, you always get some great racing around here no matter what, and today was no different. So congratulations to NER Ayrton, and he will retake the championship lead after today as well with that win and fastest lap, putting him just a few points ahead of Donev in the standings.
Certainly so. There's still plenty of racing to go though, so these two have got plenty more history to write between themselves in this championship at the moment, but for now, champion swings the way over to Ayrton and Aston Martin.
Certainly does. And by the way, Speed Alcoholic, a very quiet race really in the end, but he gets himself on the podium, does the South African, so he'll be very happy with that after last week. So congratulations to him, back up in the top 3 where he belongs, I think. But yes, I'll just run you through the order. NER Ayrton wins the race with the fastest lap after a great battle with Donev, but he was just too fast for the Bulgarian in the end, who finishes second. Speed Alcoholic getting that podium, as we said, and the main Wayne finishing a wonderful P4 for the Singaporean driver. The toe in P5, he'll be happy with that. Myra down in P6, Vetsku down to 7th after the penalties, a finish 6-7, with Avi finishing down in P8, so he will lose the championship lead, but still be decently okay after that recovery drive. DTS Ayrton in P9. Rils Taravillo rounds out the top 10 after a good recovery as well from him, it has to be said. Robinet is going to be furious, as he really should have been in the top 8 today, but lost a few positions after that contact between Trugster and Amir. Aces versus Kings finishes P12 after, it has to be said, a dismal race, 2 spins, and never really recovered up the grid. Didn't really have a chance to. Womax finishes P13, just a 10th behind, so it was close between those two. Amir P14, another man who is not going to be happy in the stewards room. Martin P15 in the end, after it looked like he might challenge for the win today. It's all gone wrong for him. Lostock P16 for the American, and then Trugster down in P17 will be classified, although I'm not sure he gets points in ESRL even if he's classified. I'll think about that, or find that out rather. And then Zuba and Alfred Chow unfortunately not able to finish the race.
Lifebout in the chat. I'm assuming Lifebout's over in Division 2 here in ESRL. He says his fastest lap was 29.2, Ayrton's a 29.3. Asks the question, is Ayrton washed?
Yeah, Lifebout, what tyres did you set that lap time on? Was it 1 lap old softs by any chance? Yes, thank you by the way to I'm gonna take a punt and say your name is pronounced Yola. Thank you to you for the compliment. It does mean a lot. We do very much enjoy it, and I'm glad you enjoy it too. Luppies as well. Thank you to everyone who was watching and everyone in the chat today. Lifebout said he set his lap on mediums. Well, still, Ayrton set his on what 7 lap hards. So, yes, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And yeah, there you go. There's your British Grand Prix. So, what do you reckon, Sumo? Who do we reckon for driver of the day today?
Oh, it's been I don't know. Let's have a look. I think we're stuck on the exit screen for time. Robinet did very well to get himself up there. It's just a huge shame he got involved in that crash at the very end. Myra had a very good run as well. The Toad from P12 as well. Great run from him. And if it wasn't for that penalty, I think could have finished P4 today. So, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I think it's between speed and the toe for me. They both had really good races. Vetsku could have been very much in contention for driver of the day today, but I think just losing those positions on penalties, if he hadn't gotten those penalties, I think he would have been a very good shout for the award. But in the end, I think up 7 positions, making overtakes at the very end, and keeping his cool, I think for me it has to go to the toe, personally.
Yeah, I think the toe as well, making up all those places, really putting in the work for Alpine. That's a decent result. They've got a 2.5 there today, so the Constructors' Championship certainly going well if you're in that blue and pink car. So yeah, I agree, toe driving.
Yeah, hugely important race for Alpine there in their search for the Constructors' title. Yes, Ayrton and Deneuve, I think we're going to be watching a lot more of them this season. And perhaps we can have a couple more drivers, the likes of Martin, Speed Alcoholic, well, we saw Avi get involved last week as well. And I think Myra on his day can be up there too, so it can sort of swing the pendulum a few ways depending on the track, but I think Ayrton and Deneuve this season are going to be the class of the field.
Yeah, certainly. And I must say, Martin, huge commiserations to him. He spun and he was lamenting right at the back for the whole race.
Yeah.
Just a huge shame for the Red Bull driver, but I'm sure that next week he'll come back swinging even more harder.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am intrigued to see the stewards room after this race, so we'll have to give you an update on that next week. But in the meantime, thank you all very much for watching. I'm glad you all enjoyed. And we're here every week for ESRL, and I'm sure Vetsku will be here every week as well. So do tune in, leave a like on the stream if you're here. I really do appreciate it. Helps me out and it helps out the league as well. So thank you all very much for watching, and as we head back to the lobby, unless you have anything else to say, Sumo?
No, I'm all good. Just Lifebout has admitted that yes, Ayrton is miles faster than him. I think you are certainly correct there, Lifebout. But that's all I have to add.
Well, Lifebout will be gunning for the Division 2 title this season, I'm sure. But anyway, thank you again, everyone, for watching. We'll be here same time next week for more ESRL, and I will see you then. But for now, have a good weekend, everyone. And it's goodbye from me.
That's goodbye from me.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.